Welcome to Healthy Conversations, sharing the knowledge, experience, stories, and the wisdom of herbalists and other natural healers, with your host, Stephen Horn. Today's guest, Ellen Tart Jensen. Hi, and welcome to Healthy Conversations. Joining me again today is Ellen Tart Jensen, former president of the International Iridology Practitioners Association and the head of Bernard Jensen International, Infinite Iris Incorporated, and a naturopathic physician, iridologist, and a wonderful healer, and helped so many people with her knowledge of iridology nutrition. And what we are going to talk about today is the liver. And the liver is really important because it is the primary organ that processes all of the chemicals and toxins we're exposed to in the environment. And so if we do not have a healthy liver, then we're going to have a hard time dealing with the things we're exposed to, the pesticides, herbicides, heavy metals, food additives, etc. And so let's talk about the liver. First of all, let's talk about why it's important to work on the liver, and maybe a little bit about the iris patterns of people who have a tendency to have a weak liver. And then we can talk about some of the foods and herbs and things we can use to strengthen the liver.
Well, the number one, probably the number one thing I look at in root causes of almost every ailment that I see of people that come to me is a traffic jam in the liver. And I call it a traffic jam because it's so congested from poor eating and chemicals that they've been exposed to in their lives, and just symptoms of liver problems. Well, first of all, we look at the iris type that tends to have the most liver issues. It's what we call the biliary eye, or the mixture between a brown-eyed person and a blue-eyed person. But that doesn't mean that all types of eyes can't have liver issues. You know,
it just means those are genetically prone to it, but
right.
Everybody can get a congested liver from just...
Absolutely. And then I look at the sclera, because a yellow jaundice sclera, or what we call a pinguecula, or fatty deposits in the sclera, or a corneal arcus where there are lipids in the cornea. All of these are liver signs that we need to look at, or brown spots on the skin, bloating in the abdomen. All of those things are liver signs. And if young women are having, they're having premenstrual issues, they're having cramps and pains with menstruation, their liver is not processing the estrogen properly.
Yeah, so, most PMS is liver related. I learned that from Henry Beeler, a medical doctor who wrote a book called Food is Your Best Medicine.
Menopausal issues, menstrual issues, they're all liver related. And a lot of people with thyroid issues don't realize their liver's not converting T3 and T4. And so we have a traffic jam in the liver. That's the way I explain it to my clients, because the liver is not processing their hormones properly.
And I would add some of the symptoms I look for are just a general malaise. I've seen a lot of people who they don't feel well, and they go to the doctor, and the doctor can't find anything particularly wrong with them. And that almost always, to me, points to the liver. Trouble getting to sleep at night, because the liver meridian is active a little after midnight. So you get this agitation in the evening. You can't go to sleep. And then you wake up in the morning like you're hungover. You don't wake up refreshed. Stuffy, bloated feelings under the right rib cage, irritability,
and
low energy. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So all of those are symptoms. It's kind of all over the place.
Yes.
And in Chinese medicine, they have this concept of what they call harmonizing therapy.
Mm-hmm.
And that is, if you're looking at it and the whole thing is a mess, and you can't figure out what's going on, you harmonize the liver. You support the liver, which is in the wood element, and that clarifies what's going on in the body, because the liver is the harmonizer of all the internal organs.
Yeah.
So anytime I'm having a hard time figuring out where do I begin with this person, I go, got to work first by cleaning out their liver.
Well, I'll have people say, I wake up at 3 in the morning and I just lie there and I can't go back to sleep. Well, that's liver time. And so I explain it like, if you've got a train that's full of bricks and it's trying to go up a hill and it's just doing this, it's going to wake you up, because that liver is trying to process all through the night, and it's so congested, it's not a smooth process. And
Right.
so working on eliminating what congests the liver and nourishing the liver with what will cleanse and support it is what we want to do.
All right. So let's get started. What do you recommend for people who need to clean out this traffic jam in their liver?
Yeah, well, even elevated low-density lipoproteins, which are what we call the bad fats that cause plaque in the arteries. When you think about this, Eskimos didn't have high LDLs when they were eating fat.
Right.
So it's not about the fat so much as when you eat a lot of white foods, white flour, white sugar, white rice, they're all going to change to a sticky substance that's going through the liver, sticking up the bile. So the bile gets all sluggish and sticky, and then eventually can harden and form gallstones or liver stones. And then we've got a problem with flow. Nothing's going through like it should. Nothing's being processed like it should. And bile is not getting into the digestive tract that we need to digest with. So you're constipated, you're bloated, you're in pain, your belly's swollen. Well, you've got that blockage going on in your liver. So first of all, you want to avoid white things like white flour, white sugar, white rice. And even pasteurized milk is very high in casein.
That's another white. And also shortening and the white fats, margarine and shortening, which are also congest the liver.
Well, what they harden margarine with is going to harden in the liver.
Yep.
I mean, those are chemicals.
Those are chemicals, not food. So I learned about the whites a long time ago. I call them the 4 white horsemen of the nutritional apocalypse. The white carbohydrates, the white fats, the processed dairy, and then chemical additives that are added into the food.
And if you look at a label and you can't read half of what's on there, that's your chemicals that are they get lodged up in your liver. And if you're drinking a lot of water that's full of chlorine and fluorine, those are chemicals. There's so many additives and preservatives in fast foods, processed foods, TV dinners you've got to work on avoiding. So avoid all those, and then fill your nutrition with, lots of salads, all your leafy greens in your salads that are high in fiber and chlorophyll. Those are like little brooms that are going to go through and sweep your liver clean. And even grated carrots and grated beets are very, very good for cleaning the liver. Beets are high in anthocyanins that actually relax the vessels in the liver and help it clean out. And water with lemon, water with lime, that's going to help dissolve some of that sludge and plaque in your liver. So I give people a liver cleansing smoothie to drink every morning when they first wake up. If they don't want to make the smoothie, at least a cup of warm water with fresh lemon juice in it or fresh lime juice in it will help flush the liver. But if they want to make a liver cleansing smoothie, I just have them put a half a cup of water in a blender. Then I have them put the juice of half a lemon, 2 stalks of celery, a raw red beet chopped up really well, a half an apple, and a half a cucumber, and I have them blend it up, and they drink that in the morning, and that helps to flush the liver.
Great. Didn't Bernard Jensen also use black cherry juice?
Black cherry is wonderful, especially if you have gout. And black cherry is one of the highest foods in anthocyanins that clean the liver and help to lower inflammation and clean out the uric acid crystals that are not being processed through the liver and the kidneys, which can cause feel like little shards of glass in your feet will become all swollen. You can get gout in your hands. And the more you use black cherry, that will help you. Anytime a person has gout, definitely add those cherries. Cherries are also high in iron if a person tends to be anemic. And if you pull down your eyelids and look inside underneath and they're really white, you're going to be anemic. So you need to get foods high in iron, which are dark cherries, dark leafy greens, and beet. Those are all going to help you. If you're low in iron, you have no energy. And I saw a person one time that was so low in iron, he was passing out because he couldn't get enough oxygen. So people need to realize that oxygen follows iron, and iron follows oxygen in the body. So if you have low iron, you have low oxygen, and vice versa. So to get your energy back, all of these dark greens, beet, dark cherries are going to build your blood and help you have more oxygen levels in your body.
It's interesting that in Chinese medicine, green is the color that tonifies the liver. So,
Yes.
so greens are probably the biggest thing that will help keep a healthy liver. And most people do not eat very many green leafy vegetables at all.
Yes, and the other thing that women, that they are having premenstrual issues, I talk to them about cruciferous vegetables.
Right.
Because cruciferous vegetables are high in what we call DIM, diindolylmethane, and those help the liver to process estrogen properly. Because if we get too much estrogen in the body, then the body ends up getting inflamed and causing polycystic ovarian syndrome, or you can get fibrocystic breast or ovarian cysts when that liver is not processing your estrogen properly. So the cruciferous vegetables, like your broccoli, your kale, your Brussels sprouts, your cauliflower, all of those are going to really flush that liver and help it process estrogen better.
Yeah, the cruciferous vegetables are plants from the mustard family,
Yes.
and they contain sulfur compounds.
Mm-hmm.
And they typically aid both sulfation and methylation in the liver. And what most people don't realize is when your body is done with hormones or neurotransmitters or whatever, the liver breaks them down and gets rid of them. So if your liver isn't working properly, if you're not methylating properly, if you're not sulfating properly, then you're going to have mood disorders. You're going to get nervous, anxious, irritable, depressed, etc., because your hormones and neurotransmitters are all whacked out because your liver can't get rid of them when they're not needed anymore.
Yes, and I just have women that feel like they're going to scream or beat somebody before their period. They get so angry and upset and they feel horrible and they don't know why. And it's because of their diet. And if the more they eat the way we're talking about here, leaving off the whites and adding in the greens and the beets, their livers are going to settle down and process the estrogen, and they'll feel happier and healthier, and they won't have all that pain and cramping with their period.
Yeah, and the other thing that they say in TCM is that the taste of sour, well, both bitter and sour, bitter but sour tonifies the liver. And I've decided the reason why that is the case is because the liver in detoxifying is highly exposed to free radicals, because the detoxification pathways create free radicals, and the liver has to have a lot of antioxidants to to protect itself against that. And so all of your berries, your sour, slightly sour fruits, your lemon, etc., all are providing antioxidants that protect the liver. And many of these herbs that are used in TCM, like lycium, are said to support the liver and brighten the eyes, because the other organ in your body that needs a lot of antioxidants is your eyes.
Yes.
And so if your eyes, if you're getting diabetic retinopathy, you're developing cataracts, you're having problems with your eyes, it's a sign your liver is also not getting the antioxidants it needs to be healthy. So,
well, when you think how the eyes are made of blood vessels and the blood from the liver bathes the eyes,
yeah.
You know, I've had people do liver cleanses and their eyes go blurry. So, you know, that will pass because you're cleansing your liver. So a really good liver cleanse, if a person will, the first beet juice is one of the best ways to cleanse your liver. So I have people, because at first if you get too much beet juice, you can get a little too nauseous if your liver is very congested. So if they want to do a really good liver cleanse, what they can do is start with 1 ounce of fresh beet juice with the juice of like a teaspoon of lemon juice mixed in it first thing in the morning. And then the second morning, go to 2 ounces and 2 teaspoons of lemon juice. And if you feel nauseous, you go back to the original amount and keep building up till you get up to 4 ounces of beet juice and 4 teaspoons of lemon juice in the morning, and do that for us. When you can do 4 ounces of beet juice and 4 teaspoons of lemon for a solid week, you've done a really good flush of your liver.
Yeah, I'm lucky my wife is from Ukraine, so she regularly makes borscht, which is cabbage, which is a cruciferous vegetable, and beets, what are in that. So I always consider that really good, healthy liver food every time she makes borscht.
Yes. And for a sour, right before you eat, to have a sour, you can squeeze, the juice of a whole lemon in a little cup. And if you have some organic ginger powder, or if you want to put a little stevia in there, but you want it to be sour, because lemon and ginger, when you taste it, it tells your brain, this is a sour, I'm going to flush your liver so that bile can get to your digestive tract before you eat.
Yeah. And then we kind of glossed over it because we're talking about sour, but the bitter is the other thing that helps the liver. And we don't eat much that's bitter.
Yeah.
But if you go out in the wilds and you're eating wild greens and wild vegetables, they all have a little bit of bitterness to them.
Yeah.
And that bitterness stimulates the flow of bile
Mm-hmm.
and the circulation through the liver. And it also stimulates your liver detoxification pathways. There's actually receptors for bitterness in your digestive tract that trigger digestive secretions and trigger liver detoxification. So that's why sometimes if people will start taking some of this stuff that's a bit bitter, they'll get nauseous,
Mm-hmm.
or they'll have some upset with it because it's stimulating or too rapid of a detox for them, and they can't handle it. But you mentioned one, which is out in my backyard right now, dandelions. Dandelions are a great bitter, both the leaves and the root, for stimulating the flow of bile and cleaning out the liver. And of course, the thistles are also another good one for that. The blessed thistle, the milk thistle, and so forth.
Yeah.
So just
I had a man once where he was diabetic, and all I did was ask him to drink dandelion leaf root tea. And amazingly, he was type 2 diabetic. He no longer had to take insulin.
That's terrific. Just from this one herb that everybody's trying to kill and poison their lawns all the time.
It's so good.
It is. It helps your stomach, your liver, your kidneys. Uh, but of course, we're just not used to eating bitter. I mean, I've trained myself to be willing to eat stuff that's, a little
Me
bit
too.
bitter. Yeah,
Yeah,
and I like a salad that's got some bitter greens in it. I
yeah.
think that's really healthy for your liver, especially if you use a
Mhm.
little bit of raw apple cider vinegar or balsamic vinegar and a little bit of good quality olive oil, not the,
Cold
the
pressed olive oil. Yes.
cold pressed olive oil. That's a great way. And I notice when I eat a salad
Hmm.
with my meal, everything digests better.
Absolutely. And I ask them, good bitter greens to put in your salad: arugula, cilantro, parsley, baby kale. All of those are really good bitter greens to flush your liver.
Yep.
Dandelion leaves.
Right. And also beet greens. I
Oh, yes.
love to eat beet greens. Also, Swiss chard
Yes.
is wonderful too. Yeah.
Yes, and I also highly recommend raw apple cider vinegar, as you were saying, as a salad dress in every salad dressing. And if they want to buy a salad dressing, then I have them keep a spray bottle of raw apple cider vinegar on the table and spray their salad, so they get that extra bitter into their salad. And raw apple cider vinegar has so many medicinal qualities. It's very high in potassium for the heart. But I've had people with cramps. It'll stop a cramp in 2 or 3 minutes. If you put a couple of tablespoons in a glass of water and start sipping it, that cramp will go away.
That's a great tip to know.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
there's
And
so much we can do with food.
also might mention an herbalist named Michael Moore
Yeah.
talks about the fact that the liver is you have your blood coming into the intestines and it breaks down into capillaries and then it's collected back into a vein that
Mhm.
goes to the liver.
Mhm.
So the liver is receiving a large portion of its blood from a vein, not an artery.
Right.
So if your liver is congested, it puts pressure on your venous circulation, and he claims that that will contribute to varicose veins, hemorrhoids,
And
and other circulatory problems in your body because your venous circulation is congested. And so he likened cleaning out the liver to cleaning out your furnace filters and you know
yes,
uh, everything, so that your heating and air conditioning system is working properly and things are flowing and circulating.
yes, and also the blood pressure will go up. By the way, if that vein is all clogged and congested, because the heart will have to pump a lot harder.
Yeah, and I'll give one other tip I had, which is from a book, Dr. Rudolph Ballantine,
Yeah.
and he said that because of the confusing symptoms associated with a person who is suffering from moderate liver congestion, and they go to a bunch of different doctors and they don't know what to do them, the person will start to feel like a hypochondriac.
Mm.
And he said, or the doctor will call him hypochondriac. He said, but the liver is located anatomically in a region of the body known as the hypochondrium. So the doctor has made a correct diagnosis without realizing it. So every time I've had someone and they've come and they've told me they've been to this person who told them they had this problem, this and that, and nothing has worked, and they're saying, I feel like a hypochondriac, liver. And I'll do some things to help their liver, give them an herb formula to clean out the liver and make some recommendations for that. And they come back and they say, this is amazing. you
Yes.
know, you're the first person who helped me. And I think, but that's why I think this was a great topic, because most people do not realize how vital the liver is to our overall health.
Yes, even a stuffy nose and a lot of allergies and congestion, that liver has to process all your clear fluids of your body, all your lymph fluids. And if that liver is sticky and congested, it's just going to back up and you're going to have all kinds of congestion up here. So just working with the liver can help you heal so many issues in your body.
Yep. Well, everybody, you heard it from. We need to work on your liver, or like say, love your liver.
Love your liver. That's right. We can't live without our liver.
Yeah, because it's the liver.
Exactly.
So, thank you, Ellen, for being with me. It's been an absolute delight to talk with you today. And we'll put the links to Ellen's Burn Johnson International below, so you can get a hold of her and look into some of her classes, especially her iridology classes. She's a top-notch iridology and iridology instructor, and other links below to my website and so forth. So I hope you'll join us again, Ellen. We can talk further and let people know more of these great tips about how they can improve their health.
It's my pleasure, Stephen. Thank you so much.
You're very welcome.
Okay.
Hit the like button and subscribe to our channel to catch future episodes of Healthy Conversations. Help us educate others by sharing this video, and please feel free to share your own thoughts, comments, and questions below. To learn more, check out the links below.